Hello and welcome to On Your Lane. This is the best place for ambitious people for taking charge of their lives, making that income, making that impact, and living fulfilling lives. And today we're going to talk about money. We'll talk about income and impact. Let's get really practical on the money factor because money is unavoidable. We need it to make the impact. I used to think in the past that I don't focus on money. I just want to make sure that I'm helping people. Like, what are you helping people with? You need money. And for people like me who come from a third world country, money becomes even more important because it's not just a matter of helping people get by. It's a matter of life and death for other people as well. So our topic today is money mistakes that are keeping you broke. Yes, we need to fix this because we need your money to do what it's meant to do and uplift you and uplift those around you, right? So are you making any of these mistakes? Share in the comments so that we can talk and we can solve these things and we can support each other in making sure that our money has the impact attached to it. Let's do this. Mistake number one, having no purpose. What happens in this case is the money comes, the money goes, leaves you the same. You don't know what happened. You don't know what you had. I had money. I don't know what it did. It's because the money had no purpose. And I'm calling it purpose, but really it's budget. Right? It's you telling your money where it should go. And usually people think when I have 100,000, when I have 50,000, whatever money amount you think about, you're like, when I have that much, that's when I can budget. But no, the way you treat 1,000 kwacha is the way you would treat 100,000 kwacha. So you need to build the right habits and have purpose for your money. So what is important in your life? Where are you going with your life? If you're saying that I'm going to become a teacher or whatever it is, and your money does nothing in that direction, then your money is purposeless. So your money needs to have a purpose, okay? If you're going to travel the world, that means you're putting your money behind air tickets and whatnot. So your money is guiding your purpose. You need to put it somewhere so that it is helping you move forward. Purposeless money comes and goes, and nothing happens. And I used to be like that for so long. I'll be like, I think I'm well paid. I was in a well-paying job, but I was like, how is it that I can't travel? I want to travel. How is it that I can't travel? Because my habits couldn't let me. I didn't have a plan for the money. I was just like, I used my plan in my head. There are these basic things that we do. We pay rent, we pay this, and then after that, we'll figure it out. And we never did figure it out because when you don't have purpose for your money, when an iPad is out and the money is enough for an iPad, you will buy it. And when there is a festival and you think that is a cool thing, you will go there because your money is free flowing. So you need to stop that and have a clear goal for your life and make sure your money is backing that clear goal. Mistake number two, living beyond your means. Can I get an hallelujah? If you testify to this, this is a big thing because for most of us, we see what we want to achieve. You see the life we want to live. And therefore, when you have the ability to stretch yourself a little further, you're like, okay, I'll just stay in that neighborhood. But that is not sustainable. If you live beyond your means, you'll not be able to achieve big things. Because first of all, it will stress your mind because you know you can't afford what you're doing. Second of all, then you have no ability to push the right things. Okay, if you need to invest here, if you need to serve here, if you need to take care of yourself in legitimate ways, even if you're living beyond your means, you know what happens? Any slight change becomes an emergency. You break your phone, now it's an emergency because you're living beyond your means already. How can you fix a phone? I had an experience with that. I bought a Merc so early in my career. When I got my first promotion in my job to manager, I was like, yay, buy a Merc. And you see, an indicator that you're living beyond your means is when normal things become emergencies or discussion points or they stress you out. No more things like service a car. Oh my goodness, my husband and I would need to sit down and discuss servicing a car. No, because the car was a Merc and servicing it meant a lot of money for us. And we had to really sacrifice and say, okay, this is a month for service. Okay, did you travel at work? Like we needed to compile our funds just to service a car. And that is not right. You're living beyond your means. And we usually do this because it's a thing, a comparison, competing thing. And it doesn't help anyone, least of all you. It stresses you up, causes friction in your relationships, even within yourself. And a person who has that kind of friction cannot dream big or achieve big things. You need the peace of mind that comes from living within your means. You will be rich. You will buy the Mac. You will buy that house. You will do all that. brick by brick. Allow yourself time to grow so you can get to that level. Don't look at people. You don't know how they make their money. You don't know who's funding them. Stop comparing. Focus on you and what you're doing. It's good for you and it will help you in a big way in your future. The third mistake is really connected to this other one. This is no delayed gratification. You must have it now. That new top, yes. That new trend, yes, I'm on it. There's a new phone, okay, yes. No. Life doesn't work that way. You have to make some sacrifice for the bigger things. You will look nice and then what? You will eat everything and be at that trendy place and then what? You should have something you're aspiring to. And if it is clear what you're aspiring to, then you will be able to make sacrifices in the present. And I remember when I started my business, I told my husband, we need to sell the Mac. We need to sell the Mac. It was comfortable, it was nice, but we needed to delay that gratification. And we had already made a move on it. But I think when you realize that, okay, that was an impulsive buy, that was unnecessary, correct it. You can sell that item, get it out of the way. Don't say, well, I already bought it, so that's it. No, you can fix it. So when you learn to just indulge in your vision, just imagine yourself in your dream. What does that dream look like? Then look at your present. Say, what needs to change to allow me to do this? Another example that I listened to, my pastor was preaching the other day. He said there was a guy who had this great business idea and he was looking for funding for that idea. And he came to the pastor driving a nice car and the pastor was like, so what are you going to do? It's like, I can't find funding, but this dream needs funding. It's like, you have a car, sell it. And the guy was like, oh, no, I can't sell my car. It's like, well, your dream is not worth it then. So when you indulge yourself in the dream and see what is possible, you believe in it, then you'll be able to make sacrifices in the present. You don't buy that expensive handbag. You don't eat out every day. All these other things that just take money out of your system. You cut them out and say, okay, I'm going to focus. Okay, I'm going to pack my lunch. Okay, I'm not going to get another handbag or shoes. Or I'm not going to pay for DSTV, whatever it is, so that I can have enough resources that allows me to have peace of mind, but also to build on what I want to achieve. The fourth mistake, borrowing. Oh my goodness. We justify this so much. It's like, I'm borrowing from my employer, it's okay. I'm borrowing, do invest, it's okay. It's not okay. Even the Bible says a borrower is a slave to a lender. You know what that means? You are a slave. You can't think right when you are borrowing. You can't be so creative with borrowed money. It's not possible. You will enslave yourself. Okay, so stop the borrowing habit. Shut it down. Don't eat borrowed food. Please, that's just terrible. Don't do that. Eat what you can afford. Okay, so if you are like, I'll get 2 chickens, I'll pay a month end. That's borrowed living. Don't do that. You are enslaving yourself and you will not grow. So the money will come at the end of the month and you will not see it because it's already gone. You're spending before you have it. So live within your means and do not borrow. And if you have a great business idea and you think you need borrowing, don't. Because a business will put a demand on you. It'll put a demand on things and it might not work out. And if it's borrowed, the stress will be so much. If the capital is borrowed, oh my goodness, you will stress yourself. You'll get sick. Don't do that. So the great way to fix a borrowing habit is to just accept what you have and make the changes. Do you need to buy more beans and less chickens? Make the sacrifice. The peace will be so worth it, right? But living a borrowed life makes you a slave. And if you're a slave, you will not progress. You will not build. You will not go far in life. So shut that down. The fifth mistake, unnecessary monthly payments. Do you really need DSTV, full bouquet, premium with rewinding capabilities? Do you really need that? You're spending 80, 90,000 every month and you're like, but I'm struggling, I need help. No, you don't. So you need to revisit these recurring payments that come out. Do you really need 80 grand data? And you're like, yeah, you know what? Hey, YouTube takes all my data. Netflix and chilling takes all my data. It's taking your money, right? And you have a goal to build a house. Maybe you have a goal to start a business. You're eating your capital, literally. Do you really need to buy pizza every Friday? Like whatever recurring habits you have, but also the utilities you bear, you can audit those and edit them because your dream can be going down the drain every month because of some costs that are just unnecessary, right? So revisit those and let's shut it down. And your rent should be one of those things that you must revisit. If you're paying rent and it's like over 20%, I'll say 30%. If your rent is over 30% of your take-home income, rethink that, because that is extravagant living. Your rent shouldn't be something that you cry to God about. Oh, we worship you, Jehovah, grant us rent. No, rent is a recurring expense. And because it's a recurring expense, it will need you to sober up and say, okay, what can we comfortably do? You know, if where you're living is causing you stress, then it's already taking away your peace. And you need your peace for what? Financial prosperity. And we need you to be prosperous financially for what? For impact, so that you can up-level your community and yourself as well. The last mistake, it's not the last one, but the one I'm going to share with you as the last one, is living paycheck to paycheck. That just, again, I think money has a lot to do with peace. Because I'm thinking living paycheck to paycheck takes away your peace. It really just, again, like I think I mentioned this, where a small thing becomes an emergency. You know, you have to fight with your spouse or your friends over a phone that you broke or a battery that died because you don't have the money to cover those expenses. So when you live paycheck to paycheck, you have nothing. That means you're living beyond your means. That means you have too many expenses. That means you're not being real with yourself and your capability. So you must cut things down. So you must have a savings, some sort of savings. And I know it's a struggle for most people because we say, I have too many expenses, but start with 5,000, start with 10,000, just put it away. You're building a habit, just put it away. When you have surprise money, somebody has blessed you, don't say surprise money, woohoo, ice cream time. No surprise money, put it in the savings account. Build that habit, saving continually, because that will cushion you. And don't use your savings account to invest. That's a different story. Your savings account is just for a rainy day, okay? And that is not just investment strategy. If you want an investment plan, then you have to have another account where you're now playing around, taking risks. But this should just give you the peace of mind so that when you have a scratch on your car, it's not something you cry about. When your tire busts on your car, it's not something to pray about. When your TV falls and crashes, like my son did that to our TV. He did that to our TV. He threw a toy on it and boom, crashed it. And we came home and he was telling me, my husband, that, Mommy, I want the TV. This one, I can't see clearly. And I was like, we will not have the TV for the next 6 months. But really, I sat down and thought, this shouldn't be an emergency. Because if you have money put out, you can actually just say, okay, this was sad. You discipline the child, but then you get the TV back. But sometimes it becomes a prayer petition. It becomes a fundraising initiative because you do not have a savings account. I like how the Bible, God talks about your storehouses will be full. Your storehouses will overflow. When he talks about blessing, it means he expects us to have storehouses. Those are savings, right? So savings do not mean investment. Again, I said that. So savings are just for you and the rainy day that is guaranteed to come, because we live in life and life brings rainy days. So prepare for that. The last tip. Did I say the last already? This is a bonus tip. Give. Your money is your tool for prosperity. And according to the Bible, how you prosper is by giving. So the people who give, then they receive. It is counterintuitive for us because we're saying, I want to keep as much money as possible. But it says those people who keep end up poor. Those people who give liberally receive. So plan for your giving as well. I'm not saying just because it's giving, that means you just be impulsively giving. No, plan for your giving. How much am I giving? How much am I tithing? When is it going? Like, plan for it. You need to dethrone money. It shouldn't be such a stronghold in your life so much so that when you don't have money, your spirit starts breaking. When you see your money going away, your heart is resting. No, you have to dethrone money by learning to bless other people. So if you have a 10,000 kwacha and you could have just bought pizza, go to somebody who needs that 10,000 kwacha to survive. Just give it. And don't require an announcement. She gave. No, just give it. Develop the habit of giving, because when you give, God sees you as a channel to bless other people. And when he sees you as a channel, you better trust that he will use you often. And using you means he's giving you more. And if he's giving you more, that means you have enough and it will overflow. So develop the habit of giving consistently, intentionally, and cheerfully. All right. So those are my mistakes. I know you have many in mind, so please share in the comments. And which one has been the hardest for you? Let me know also in the comments. Thank you for stopping by. If you really want to work on your money, you really must really work on the gift that you carry inside you and to identify that gift and work on it so that then it can attract more money your way. Check the Zone of Success tool in the comment. And if you want to get deeper and build wealth and not just have little money now, but actual wealth that outlives you, then get into the circle of greatness. There's a link in the description, then we'll talk about your legacy, your wealth, and what you can use to build that. Thank you for stopping by. I hope this was helpful. On Tuesdays, I'm here with a video, and then on the podcast on Thursday, I'm there as well. So let's keep growing. I'll talk to you soon, right? Okay. Bye-bye.